I went to church one Sunday and we were having family dinner that night. And I'm like, well, do you feel all pampered today? All of them just look at each other like, what? And I'm like, hopefully you guys are feeling pampered today. Like, you understand Mother's Day is the worst day of the year for any woman. I just proceeded to the bottom fell out. They exposed everything for me right there. They were like, whenever someone gets up to church and starts talking about how great mothers are, all I feel is inadequate. When someone gets up and talks about how great their mother was, I feel so compared and judged. Welcome to the Sole Proprietor Podcast. I'm Curt Kempton.
And I'm Melody Edwards.
Each week, we dive into the ethical questions that keep entrepreneurs awake at night.
Whether you're building your own company or exploring life's big questions, you are welcome here.
Hello, Melody. How are you today?
Normal, Curt. How are you?
I knew it was coming. Normal with a positive or a negative? Like normal plus or a normal minus?
Well, I am on a work hiatus. The thing that I've been talking about for 6 months, it just got to the point where I needed to take it. And this is like day 3 of me not working. I blocked my team essentially. Not like I've blocked them, like they can never talk to me again. I deleted all my communication apps. Like I went deep into, I have to, I'm all in or all out. So
that would give me some anxiety.
I feel great. I feel so good about that because I trust them. I also gave them like a $500 slush fund while I'm gone to just like solve their own problems. They'll solve their problems anyway, but I know that when it comes to money, sometimes that's when people get weird. So like the Philippines had a big earthquake recently.
Yes.
And they decided to give like $100 to some of the people who were struggling from, our agency, which I thought was really cool. And how did I hear that? If I have a communication block, I have one secret channel in Messenger that I can talk to Denise, but she's not allowed to talk to me about like work stuff.
Well, that's good because that one little thing would be a huge insurance policy for me.
Really? Yeah.
I'm getting ready to take a similar hiatus. Oh, go ahead.
You are?
Go ahead. I am.
I have been planning for this long time, but like you know already, I've done this a bunch of times without preparation because I've been injured or something big happened in my life and suddenly I couldn't work. This is the first time that I was trying to make it so that I could like leave and it would be ready. And I still didn't do that successfully because I would never be ready. The company will never be good enough. We will never be big enough. But like, there's always things I decide in my head about where we need to be as a company for me to walk away when really I just need to walk away because I need a hiatus and we're in a good place for it.
I think that's good for you. What I'm doing is similar. I'm going to mountain biking hiatus. And how long is your hiatus going to be?
So I'll check in with them at the end of this week, but then it's definitely going to be the first 2 weeks all out. Well, I'm going to be doing some AI projects with my tech guy starting next week, but that's fun. So like, that's the fun part, but it could be up to 6 weeks.
Okay.
And I'll be in the Philippines. Well, I'll be going to the Philippines in August. So
what part of the Philippines are you going to be?
To start with, I'll be in Manila because they're having a Go High Level conference there.
Okay.
And we use it. And I'm like, let's go team. So they're going.
Cool. Yeah, I'm going to be in Utah. My son has his first national race he's ever participated in. So we're doing that. And then from there, we actually have a Bigfoot hunt with a Bigfoot hunting guy. So that's a couple days. And then we're going to do like every trail we can do in Moab. So much. So it's about a week and a half is about how long I'll be gone. And then, no, it's not 6 weeks. I'll tell you that. But I will be very disconnected in the backwoods and the country.
Mm-hmm.
So, but knowing that each night I can hop in the truck and like go check and see if there's anything that they needed from me or whatever. I just sleep better. And this is just a Curt thing, but I sleep better when I know that whatever blocker I may have somehow inadvertently created is unblocked. And yeah, I actually did this last year and I believe every single night I checked, there was nothing for me to unblock, which is cool. But I went to bed knowing everything's great.
Yeah. I mean, I guess I know everything's great because nobody is reaching out to me. I said
on your secret channel.
Yeah. I'm like, if somebody dies or there is severely injured or if like somebody's about to sue us, then let me know. Otherwise, I think we're okay. And truly, like they don't need me to bottleneck them when I'm not at my best. That's the whole point of taking this break is like, I'm not being more creative. I'm not like invigorated or feeling energetic or excited. Like when you reach that point, you have to take a break or else it gets really bad. And I should have done it months ago. I did take one in September. I think I took 1 or 2 weeks off then, but I really needed a longer break. And I'm going to travel. I'm doing other things too. I've been tiling my bathroom this week.
Isn't that funny that this is how we rest? I rested by
No.
tearing my house apart and doing a big house project that I will tell you when you're done, or actually in the middle of tiling, there's going to be another project in that bathroom that you inadvertently are going to create, and it will be more than tiling. I can
Well,
put some money on
maybe,
it.
except I started this project back in January and the floor has remained untiled, just a section of the floor since January because I went traveling and it's not the bathroom I use. So it's just been out of sight, out of mind. And every once in a while, Matt will be like, when are you going to finish the tiling? And I'll be like, when are you going to finish the tiling? But I'm doing a mosaic. It's nothing like, of course, I have to make it complicated.
Yeah.
It's almost done.
That's the kind of thing I can't sleep. Like, I have nightmares when I'm laying in bed. Like, what if you forget to put the floor back down? Like, I'll have like these, like,
Then it's unfinished until
yeah,
you do.
and my brain with open loops just, it
And,
doesn't.
that one was not part of my open loop, I will say. I have a lot of open loops. That one, once I started traveling again and the tile, I was just like, okay, I'll get to it someday because I rebuilt this whole house with Matt. I feel like tiling is not a big deal, but I forgot I haven't tiled in like 6 years. So it is like I'm starting over.
Here's how tiling works for me. The first time I ever retiled the house, my dad decided to start tearing up. It was actually Christmas afternoon. We finished with Christmas celebration in the morning. All the family stuff we were going to do had happened before Christmas. And we had linoleum and we had a crack in our floor, our foundation. So we started scraping up Christmas afternoon and we cut a big trench 6 feet wide down the center of our house. And then we drilled into the slab that was on the edges of the part we cut out. And then we hammered in rebar. And then we brought a cement truck and wheelbarrowed in on New Year's Day. So we had a river of dirt through our entire length of our house, through all
Pretty
the
cool.
bedrooms and everything. Anyway, we did all that. And then we're like, oh, shoot, the baseboards aren't good. We got to get new baseboards up because we ripped all that apart. Okay, new baseboards. Great. Well, when we're doing the baseboards, we accidentally found something about the cabinets and they need to be refinished. Anyway, I'm just remembering this. Same thing happened to me, by the way, as a grown man with my family. Not exactly the same way, but it ended up with it started baseboards, went to cabinets, then to backsplash, then to countertops. And this was years ago. And I'm almost to the point now, because I'll lay in bed just like stressing, like, okay, I've got 7 projects going. Are they all accounted for? What if they never get done? What if I have to live like this for the rest of my life? And then I've never been diagnosed with OCD, but I do feel that there is a potential that where there's got to be a spectrum because I don't have it like debilitating, but it can be debilitating for sleep and it can like really affect me in other
Yes.
ways.
I've already done this. Like we did tear apart our whole house and I told Matt it'll be 3 months tops and then it was 3 years. And I also I grew up like this. Like what your parents did, my parents did the equivalent over and over and over again in every house I lived in. So I
Wow.
never grew up in a finished house ever. And even my house is the most finished of the houses because I made sure we had trim on everything before we moved in.
I feel like I should take a picture of my desk. It has to be like everything has to be exactly in the right spot or else my
Okay,
brain won't work.
we should definitely take pictures of each other, of our desks, and put it into wherever our episodes go because I guarantee we have very different desks. But that's why I don't work at a desk, Curt. I just leave stuff on the desk and then I
It's a
go work
shelf.
in other. It is a
I'm
shelf.
imagining it's a shelf for you.
It's got like a lot of books on it right now and other papers that I should put away. But that's because I don't really value desk as much as I do a couch or a couchette or something. So,
All right.
speaking of
Well,
parents ruining all of our houses,
what a great transition. Father's Day is upon us.
happy Father's Day.
Well, thank you. I actually normally would never, ever pay attention. In fact, I don't think I've ever gone to bed knowing that I'd wake up, it'd be Father's Day the next day. Like I've never
Mm.
once thought about it. Like it's been a surprise virtually every time, either by me opening a calendar and it telling me, or maybe like someone wishing me happy Father's Day. Most of the time, I don't even know until I get to church because it's always on a Sunday. So I'll sit
Mhm.
in church and like the guy running the meeting will be up and be like, to all our fathers out there, happy Father's Day. And then like, then we just go on. But I'm always like, oh, happy Father's Day. Cool.
Interesting. So that hasn't really been a big deal in your household, celebrating you as a father?
It varies by year. Like, when the kids are in school, sometimes they like do the handprint thing on a paper plate or something
I miss
and
those
like write
ones.
something
Yeah.
cute. I've had ties that kids made for me or whatever. And then when my kids started earning money, they would start buying gifts. And Rachel's always like tried to do something for me special. Always usually a special dinner, which
Well,
every
that's
night's special
nice.
dinner. So I
Oh,
don't know.
that's
But
nice. Yeah.
this is the Father's Day brand. But yeah, for me, Father's Day has always been about my dad. Like I haven't really thought about myself as a dad much, but it's like, man, who would I be if I didn't have my dad?
That's so interesting because that's how Matt thinks of Father's Day and Mother's Day too. It's like more about his parents and less about us as parents. And I think a lot of mothers probably look at it as like I have told you, I don't really like Mother's Day.
Yeah.
I don't like that people are required to do something for me on that holiday, but also if they don't, then I'll be upset. Right. And I have a lot of
Mention
friends who feel like that. Like, I don't even want anything big. I would just like somebody to write me a note that says, "You good mother."
you
Here's your,
can
yes,
like little word thing.
yes.
I grew up my whole life thinking that Mother's Day was this wonderful time to lavish. Like, growing up, it wasn't a pretty tray, but like we had a cookie sheet, the biggest cookie sheet in the house, which was just the size of a regular cookie sheet, I guess. But we would put pancakes and bacon and like, Mom, get back in bed. Like we were too slow. So we did that. Usually, I don't know if I ever wrote a note
Do you
until
feel
later.
like was your Mother's Day experience driven by your father or your older sisters?
No, no, no. My dad would like get us all out of bed on Mother's Day and like, everyone get to the kitchen. You're making your mom
Okay.
breakfast. And we would make breakfast. And, it was kind of cool. Like we were like scheming, but then like someone was in charge of like watching the door. Like she's stirring in there. I can hear her moving around. Get back in bed, Mom. Cause we had to beat her,
Yeah.
right?
Yeah.
But all of us were so slow to get out of bed. And anyway, we would make it. And then like just all day, it was like it was someone's birthday. We would just like constantly like, Mom, it's your Mother's Day. You get to pick or whatever we're doing, right? Like, so it'd be
Yeah.
like, you know, Mom gets to pick what we're gonna watch on TV or whatever.
Interestingly, it's really not a day that we get to own. Like our birthday might be the only day that is truly about us.
Mm,
Mother's Day, we still have to celebrate our mothers around us, right? So it's like a dual holiday. And a lot of times, yeah, I'm not thinking about myself in, enjoying a Mother's Day. I'm worrying about like, oh, what am I going to do for my mother, right? To show her appreciation for having reared me.
yeah.
And
Well, it's so much more than rearing. I actually have an extremely, I think it's part of the doctrine, I believe, but it's also part of the way it was like, maybe it's part of self work. Mothers to me, and I think I can do it without being tearful if I can just keep it sanitary enough here. Moms do so much, right? They carry you and then they give birth. And you're like, thanks, you're a mom. But then they spend the rest of their life basically squashing anything that they want to make sure that everybody else has what they want. And I think that that was the part that I, as a kid, wasn't perfect at. Like no teenager. In the moment, like the world revolves around you, it's hard to see. But
yes,
like, I think more so than other kids, maybe because of my dad, maybe because of the way what they taught us at church. But like, look around and see what your mom did for you, driving you to school, being ready for you when you got out of wrestling practice, taking you home, making sure that your track cleats were new and fit you, and that you had your clothes washed for this thing, and that you outgrew your shoes. And it was like her mission in life to make sure that you had shoes that fit your feet now. And
mm,
like, there's just so much more because you have this like person on this earth whose only desire, at least, it felt like if
in
she had a
your
desire, it wasn't worthy of any
yeah.
attention. Her only desire was just to make sure that life was good for you. And, dad's at work making the money for it, which, I appreciate. And we can talk about on Father's Day episode if you want. But for mothers, it was just always like, she is like connected.
She's the glue that's holding all of this together. Yeah. So there's a lot of things as a mom that I feel like I don't do that's normal, like compared to maybe other moms. But then there are things that I do that are also not normal, perhaps. I'm making it sound like I'm very abnormal, but it's just like I know what a good mom in my head should do. She should be fully focused on her kids and their lives. Like this is the stereotype of how I view a good
Yeah.
mom.
This is the dangerous, can I just that dangerous stereotype?
Yes, but it's the one that's sold to us, right? So I don't live that way because I've been raising kids since I was 20, 21, and really before that even. I did so much. I was a nanny. My brother's younger than me, so I did raise him for part of his younger years too.
Oh, those older
And
siblings.
yeah, and so, like, I know what a mother's supposed to be, but I also had to hustle, which is what got me into entrepreneurship, and then I realized, like, it's interesting because both my kids, especially my daughter who's 27, she definitely has a view of me that's very positive. I will say my 16-year-old, I mean, we're at that age, so it depends on the day, but
Yeah, you're on the roller coaster of,
yes.
like, you're the greatest person in the world, and even then, it's probably just to manipulate you to whatever he wants right now, or
Mhm.
you're, like, the worst enemy.
Oh, yeah, I'm like, "What does he want?" Or also,
Yeah.
I'm on the defense.
I wanna circle back, you're saying something that actually was what I was about to say earlier, and then I got on that tangent about how I view mothers. So as a kid, I always thought it was just a nice, wonderful holiday, and then it was my sisters, I have 3 sisters, and I went to church one Sunday, and we were having family dinner that night, and I'm like, "Well, do you feel all pampered today?" All of them just look at each other like, "What?" And I'm like, "Hopefully you guys are feeling pampered today." Like, you understand Mother's Day is the worst day of the year for any woman. I just proceeded to just the bottom fell out. They exposed everything for me right there. They were like, whenever someone gets up to church and starts talking about how great mothers are, all I feel is inadequate. When someone gets up and talks about how great their mother was, I feel so compared and judged. When someone does something nice for me, I feel indebted, like I don't even deserve this because I didn't do, 100 extra nice things for you or whatever. And so they translated for me that this mom guilt that I actually was aware, I've been aware of mom guilt since a fairly early age. I wasn't even married when I learned about mom guilt, but I didn't understand that Mother's Day is a microscope. So then I'm like, well, sisters, why don't we band together and just not celebrate Mother's Day anymore? And then,
How'd
oops, that
that
was a
go over?
mistake. That
Yeah.
didn't go over great. It's really one of those things that is just so sticky.
Yeah, you can't win. And some mothers might be listening to this thinking, "What are they even talking about?" I love Mother's Day. It's the best.
Yeah,
I won't name names, but even people that I know who are newer mothers were have also been fairly disappointed by the experience. And part of it is probably social media. You have those influencers who are, like, setting
yeah.
up to make it look like
They
they're
made me these scones, and then they
yeah.
gave me petties and manis, and then that person got treated well, but then you read about someone else's, and you start putting them all together about what a Mother's Day could look like for
Yes.
all these women. But you said earlier something that I think is important too, is like, I never would have thought that just sending a note would be adequate.
Oh my god. Well, depends on the person. For me, I only care about the words. Like, I don't want you to spend your money on me because I already have everything I need and most likely you're gonna gift it wrong, right? Like, I will shout out my daughter for getting me flowers, but also I don't like flowers that are alive because they die.
And you gotta take care of
And well, I don't it's not even that, like, I'm watching them die slowly and painfully, and then if I throw them away, I've now thrown away a living thing. So I feel like too much
That's
of
a
a
symbol.
connection.
That's a
It's a
symbol.
symbol, but it's also like I feel too connected to the flowers awareness and life. And so, like, I literally, if you write me a note, one time Sophia gave me these little compliment boxes that she had made, and they just had little notes inside of it about something good that I was. She was probably like 13, the age that I actually needed that, right? And it had a little piece of chocolate in it. And I still have a picture of that, and I probably have the notes somewhere as well. And it was like so meaningful to me. Anytime Max writes anything to me, he's dyslexic. Writing is not fun for him. If
Yeah.
he writes me something, I cherish it, even if it's you good mom.
You give Well, it's just interesting because, like, gifts aren't my love language, and I know that is, like, literally a love language. Words also don't really seem to be enough, but, yeah, it's one of those things where it's like, well, if you really care, you should do all 8 of these things, and then you don't know what you're, like, working with what the other, let's say the mom or the father, whatever their vision of what adequate is, it's like, "Man, I wonder if I can even hit that target."
Well, and you don't know, like, I keep a gift list in my phone on my reminders app. So anytime I
Oh,
hear somebody say something that is meaningful to them or they wish they had, I write it on that list because it
Interesting.
makes it a lot easier. And then it makes me look very thoughtful, of course. Like, you remembered this from January 3rd of last year? That's crazy. But it's just writing it down helps me to figure out what is going to actually be meaningful to somebody because I do have a bad memory when it comes to these things. So, like, if your children wrote you a note that said, "You're the best dad ever," you'd be like, uh huh.
I mean, it wouldn't like shake me to the core. And so like when you were saying all I really want is the note, I would get the note and I would be like, "Oh, thank you." But like if 2 or 3 minutes passed by after the note, like where I genuinely meant thank you, I wouldn't probably think about it again,
Do
you
you
know?
think that it's because you're doing your job as provider for your family, like you don't expect? I think mothers actually, because we do a lot of the emotional work with kids as well. Like, this is a day where we just want that thank you, that they have to be nice to us no matter what. And we just want them to say thank you, even the teenagers, because we don't get that every day. And we really carry a lot. I almost feel like the guys I know don't expect it or put as much on that because your life is about something else.
I think you're really onto something there. Let's go entrepreneurial for a minute. I think you'll be able to relate to this part easy. When I have an accomplishment at work, I'm like, cool, I got it done. I genuinely am thankful that I got it done. But also, just in the same vein, what's next on the list? I got other stuff I got to get done. And so Father's Day to me is like, thanks for celebrating me, but I got other stuff I got to get done. Like, you know what I mean? Like, all right, let's get out the special silverware and let's have the meal. And like, this is really nice and I'm
Check
enjoying
the
it.
box. Yeah.
But then let's put the silverware, let's get it clean. We got to get the kitchen clean. We got to move on to the next thing. And that I can't speak for every father. I'll tell you, when I think of my own father, my dad had no ego at all. I love that about him. I think that's one of the things that I have been trying to model my life after the most. But he also was extremely hardworking. And I felt like the best gift I could give to my dad, because he's out of sight and he's working hard and he gets back. I don't know exactly what he's been through, but I know that he's working. And the best thing I could give him is like peace. Like, where a mom, it's like, "Mom, where's my shoes? Mom, this homework is impossible. I need help." Like, mom, where my dad, I felt like, I cherished all the experiences I had with him, but those experiences were always like, we need to make sure we ram our lives together so we connect. Where mom was like, I can't leave the house without a shoe, and I'm not having very much success on my own. There's really only other one person I can go to right now. And it's that connectedness where it's like she's my partner in
Yeah.
crime, right hand man, whatever you want to call it. Although she was not a
She's
man.
the person who has to do all the things for you if you can't do them for yourself, essentially.
Yes. So on Mother's Day, I can do the meal for her, but I still need her to help me find my shoes.
I always joke with Matt that it's my special day on Mother's Day, so he has to take the kids. But then on Father's Day, it's his special day, so he should definitely spend time with the kids.
Well, in both cases, they're both special, aren't they? That's interesting.
Uh-huh. But it's my way of just getting him to take the kids, especially when they were younger.
Yeah, it's just a different relationship. And I can tell you, my relationship with my boys and my daughter, they're both just so different than my wife's relationship with them. And I think I can safely say it's a much easier relationship for me with them in terms of energy. But I also see that my wife gets energy back. The amount of energy she pours into the kids, like she gets back. We'll be on a date. I mean, my kids have been home alone. Like I can leave my kids home alone. It's okay. But we'll be out on a date and we've been out for a couple hours and she's like, "Should we get home to the kids?" "Why? Like, are you afraid something bad's gonna happen?" And I feel like it's almost like she's like, "I don't know. I just wouldn't it be more fun if we had the kids around?" I'm like, "I
Yeah.
guess." And it's not to say we don't get alone time with each other. We do. But for me, if I go into the house and the kids are ignoring me and watching their things and doing their activities, Rachel feels better if that's going around with her in the vicinity, as opposed to me that I'm like, "But Rach, they don't care." Like, we could go to a movie right now for another 2 hours or whatever a movie takes nowadays. Maybe it's like 3 hours or something. You go to the movie, and as far as the kids' perspective, we left the house and then we came back. They're not like, you know, needing us to be there.
I think that kids want you to be around when they need something for sure. I think there are times when they might present as more independent than they actually are or want to be. But I definitely sense that if Matt and I go out, Max is thrilled to have the house to himself, and we do not need to rush back.
And I think that's the irony that I feel is like, I don't know if they're like, I'm glad they're gone. Maybe they are. But I don't think anyone's standing there going,
I
dang it,
miss that.
hurry and get home. Like,
Yeah.
how am I going to survive? And I think that there's a little bit of the want to be needed mixed in with all
It's
that.
all that I mean, how many years has Rachel been a mom now?
Yeah.
I
Oh,
mean, how many years have I been a mom? Why do you think I spend every morning with my nephew who is like needs a lot of attention and loves it compared to teenagers, right? Like
yeah.
he just wants all the attention and he loves. So like I think there's an aspect of it. I was surprised by how quickly my life became less chaotic. It just suddenly became less chaotic.
All at once, like at a certain
Kind
age, huh?
of. Yeah, like at a certain age, I'm like, where's all the space coming from? I still felt like a sense of hypervigilance, like I needed to be on call just in case something happened, which is not a good feeling if you're on in that zone and nothing is ever happening, right? So now I'm at the point where I'm just like, I'm here, but I don't think I need to be here. My kids are growing up and I need to have another plan.
So that might be the question of the day right now. Like, I'm here, but I don't need to be here. Does that ever make you feel like, for me, I'm like, awesome. That's great.
You don't have that mom guilt. That's the
Yeah. I was
problem.
going to say, I think you're saying it with the exact opposite spin. Like, what is the point of me even existing if they don't need me?
Well, I think a lot of women feel like that. I actually don't feel like that. I feel like I want my own life. I've been somebody else's somebody for 27 years now, almost 28 years. I want to just have a couple years for me, just for
Yeah.
selfishly for me. And then I'm going to have grandkids or something.
That's kind of the question I'm getting to. Do you really want that though? Or
Oh, yeah.
like, because I think as an
But
entrepreneur,
I'm a weirdo, Kurt. Most
yeah,
people would say no, but I've seen so many people go through that midlife empty nest thing but they also like again, I've been raising kids for more than half my life. And so in my view, I've always had a vision of I'm going to get to still be an independent human at some point, temporarily even, just to try it out again because I haven't done that since I was like 20.
yeah. I was getting ready to say something. I mean, I'll still say it. Maybe it doesn't apply specifically to you, but as entrepreneurs, we say we don't want chaos. We're trying to conquer the chaos all the time. Yet, chaos always seems to find us because
Mhm.
that's where we operate as the most influential, the decision makers, the one who can sort of navigate us away from it. And I'm just curious. Well, first of all, does that resonate with you? That
Well, of
maybe you
course, but
might even make your own chaos without even intending to, just
of
so that you.
course, I think most entrepreneurs make their own chaos. And I've also been combating that for the last many years of trying to be the recovering workaholic because,
Yeah.
again, that chaos comes from not wanting to do, in my view, deep thinking about life, about like we've made the job life. And if you took that away, what's left? That's like some deep thought work that has to
Yeah.
happen and it's not comfortable. So most people just keep working.
Yeah. So that leads me to like the mother question.
Yeah.
Just to set a stage here, like Rachel asks me all the time, like, hey, I just saw, I can't even think of a good example. I don't want to like call anything out too hardcore. But
Yeah.
the point is she'll like throw a decision out to me and I'm like, I just made 7 billion decisions at work today. This is a decision that I am confident you could make without any input from me. And like, I have no desire to make another decision today. Even the question, which of course this is so wrong, like, what would you like for dinner tonight? It's a kind question. It's a
Yeah.
servant question. It's someone saying, you say the thing and it will appear magically for you
Yeah.
via my effort. It's so wonderful. And I'm not saying this is like some sort of like ironic or whatever statement. I'm just saying, and yet, how dare you ask me that question? Because I'll happily eat whatever it is that magically appears on the table. And I do see the
Yeah.
disrespect in that
I don't I
thought
think it's
process.
because creating food for people is maybe it's a joyful activity for her, for me it's not. And if I don't know that somebody's gonna like the thing that I'm making and I just spent an hour making something, Like, I'm gonna come away from that and be like, "I'm never making you food again." Like, and that's not a Rachel thing, that's a Melody thing. But I
Yeah.
definitely don't enjoy not knowing if somebody's gonna enjoy the food. Also, my family's kind of garbage disposals, like it sounds like you are. Like, literally eat anything.
Yeah, I mean, Rachel and I have been married just long enough that she knows sort of what I like, and that's part of the thought process is like, "Rach, we've been married 25 years." Like,
Does Rachel have to make decisions during her day at work as well?
I can't answer that question correctly. There's no way. I have a feeling, and this could just be the wrong feeling, but I have a feeling that she makes much, 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 much less decisions than I do every day, and that's where I think I get off thinking that I can change that, but maybe I'm wrong about that, and that would probably be worth we've been married 25 years, maybe I should ask my wife a question or 2 and
Or,
find out
yeah,
what she
maybe
thinks.
it's not as important to her about like, maybe she just makes those decisions and it's like no big deal.
I'll give you another example that really helps put some color into this too, and
And by the way, I
normally
feel the same as you, Kurt. I make so many decisions every day. I don't wanna make decisions for dumb things in my life. So,
yeah.
I'm on board with you. I'm just
And I know you didn't mean dumb to the extent that everything is
no.
dumb, but, like, you start feeling like, of all the decisions I've had to make today, this is, like, the one that I don't have to make. And so dumb is more like maybe a synonym for,
Yeah, I didn't mean dumb. I just
yeah, it's, like, inconsequential in the grand scheme, or so the ramifications of getting this one wrong are so low.
after you say your thing, I'll say why I think we as women ask questions that might seem
I
it's
think what I'm about to say, the add color,
okay,
will
go ahead.
probably be on I'm guessing I'm on the same vein here. So, Rachel, see, I'm just really it's been a rough day at work. I'm at work. I'm at my home office, so she can come in and, anytime she wants. So I'm working here at the desk and I'm just working and working, and she'll come in and just, love on me. "Hey, is it all right if I rub your head for a minute? Be in the same room with you." I'm like, "Yeah, I guess. Just don't talk to me. I'm thinking right now."
Best wife ever, and you're
Yeah.
like, "Ugh, best wife,
Yeah.
can
I'm
you
like,
please?"
if you just don't distract me, I got a lot, because that's the hard part about being,
I know.
potentially OCD, is that I have 4 things. It's maybe not even 4 hard things. I got 2 emails I gotta reply to, a Slack message, and then I gotta go figure out what the other person needs me to deliver to them. And I've gotta keep them all straight. But if you come in and ask me what we're gonna have for dinner, or if I want a head rub, what if I lose one of those things and now I am shorting somebody on something that, like, they're literally blocked until I give them or whatever. So
Yeah.
Rachel will sometimes say, "Hey, Kurt, what can I do for you right now?" And I've said this to her. I know that you mean really well by that. But unless you're prepared to start writing code or answering my emails or answering my Slack messages or taking on the 15 different decisions that came in the last 3 seconds, like, I don't understand how you offering to help me is useful. It's just another thing where I have to look at you and go, "No, I'm the only one that could do this." And again, I'm telling you this not because that's necessarily how I deliver it, although I'm not perfect and I probably have delivered it wrong, but that's the thought process of where it rolls at, where it's just one more underscore. This morning, we had a server outage yesterday where code got pushed and it was so stressful. And she's like, calling me down, "Hey, it's time for dinner." And I'm like, "Yeah, probably won't be eating until my servers are up. Okay. Go have a nice dinner with everybody." Like, I need to be attention. So this morning, everything got fixed. Everything was fine. We pushed some code that had a glitch, and then we had to basically just roll it back and then basically roll it forward again, and everything's fine. Except for, like, a ton of stress where people can't run quotes. We run 2 quotes a second, every second of the day.
Wow.
I mean, when we're down for an hour, that's a big, big problem,
Yeah.
you know? So anyway, I woke up this morning and she's like, "So what kinds of things are you gonna put in place to make sure that doesn't happen again?"
Smart lady.
I'm like, "Okay, do you know how code management works and how CI/CD pipelines work and everything? Do you want me to, do you actually want me to tell you this, or are you like
I think
what
it's
what
a
do
good
you actually?"
question, but
Yeah. And the thing is she's truly interested.
yeah.
But then there's this part of me that's like, "Well, you don't understand what a rollback is, let alone a CI/CD pipeline, let alone a production build." Like, I would have to explain to you literally every word that comes out of my mouth going forward. And I've also got a lot I gotta get going to right now. Do you want me to answer that question? Or, like, what do you actually want out of that question? Now, I say all that because it's coming from a true place of care, and it doesn't deserve to be like, "I'm feeling very judged right now, and I have no way of being able to communicate to you the answer." to prove to you that I actually am a reliable person.
Oh, I wouldn't have gone there. I think she's just asking as a point of connection.
Yeah. Well, I know that's where it's coming from.
Yeah.
But I think this is the one place I can relate to a Mother's Day, though,
Yeah.
where, hey, someone's trying to do something nice for you. And the only way you're taking it is as burdensome or evil or judgmental or whatever. And you
Yeah.
go, isn't that interesting that someone trying to connect with you is not meeting your expectation? And therefore, you're basically categorizing it as like, I'm going to go crazy here and use a silly word, but as an assault on you, right? Like,
Yeah, it's not a crazy word for some of the men that I know in my life. They do feel like sometimes questions are attacks when really they're just questions. Or
yeah.
I
Or a point
think
of connection.
or a
Like, I
point
know
of
this is important
connection.
to you.
Yes.
I know this is important to you. So let's talk about something that's important to you. And then you're like, oh,
Yeah. I totally get that. I think it's so complicated when you're married to an entrepreneur. You have to marry the most patient humans because we think everything is so important. If you'd been in the hospital, Kurt, and that thing had happened, what do you think would have happened without you? If you
do you
were
know
in
what would
the
have
field.
happened? Exactly what happened. If I'd gone down and eaten dinner with the family, basically the developers are on it. They're working on it. And it wasn't my push to fix, right? I literally couldn't. And so sitting up there and watching every second of the build and the rollback and the
Yeah.
database rebuild and all the different stuff happening in AWS, every single, because we have so many different nodes, right? So every single
Yeah.
node had to rebuild. And I'm just watching them and like trying to think of anything we can do to like speed this up. And
Usually we are a bottleneck in their process of fixing things too.
yeah, yeah.
Like,
So it would have gone exactly the same.
yeah.
That's the answer.
And that's frustrating because I think we always things are so urgent and important and need us involved in them. That's why I'm all out right now, Kurt. If anybody brings anything to me, I'm like, I can solve that. I can do that. And then suddenly I've got a list a mile long. Nobody asked me to do these things, but I've made it my thing that it's going to happen. Then I feel overwhelmed and it's really all my fault. But guess what? Nobody is dying while I'm away right now. Everybody's doing pretty good from what I can see or not
Well, you
see.
can't see.
Well, that's the point.
But that's the point.
They'll
Yeah.
tell me if it's not working.
Yeah. On my ride this morning, I was thinking about the difference between a front brake and a rear brake and how they're both like used together all the time. But they're like, yes, they do the same thing to slow you down, but they're almost opposites. One you're pushing and one you're dragging behind you. And they work very differently. And everybody thinks that the front brake is a horrible brake because if you squeeze it too hard, it throws you over the handlebars. The front brake's your best friend. Like if you want to stop fast, the front brake is you're pushing into it. You have all this extra stopping power. You grab a handful of rear brake and you can just keep going almost the same exact speed and just skid your tire. And so people who think that the front brake is dangerous just are very uneducated. And if you keep yourself low and you keep yourself from flipping and you're feathering it, you actually can stop really fast. And I was thinking about how different, you're talking about parents are. It's just funny that I had this thought. And I'm like, there are two tools that are neither one evil by themselves
Yeah.
and neither one is good by themselves. Like the same tool that stops you fast will throw you over the handlebars, right? And then the same tool that just skids when used appropriately can help you get around a corner way faster or help you modulate the angle that you're coming off in the air. And so I think about parents and, this is the Father's Day episode, which I don't think any father is worried about us talking about mothers. I think about, together, we might think totally different and we might have a completely different effect in the family, in the household. Like maybe my experience is not just in my own home, but my experience with my friends and other people I've experienced is that truly the mother and father have completely different effects within the hearts and minds of the kids and the family and the household and how things get done. Yet, I can't imagine taking my bike out with only one brake. Like the idea is like, I'm not riding my bike. Like if I only have one brake, I'm not even going to ride. And I think my house would be a complete mess
Oh,
without
yeah.
one of them?
I have a lot of friends who are mothers like I am. And one of the things that we've talked about in the past is that we feel the weight of everything in our households on our shoulders, whether people understand that or not. Like we are thinking about all of the things. Now, sometimes I'm thinking about all the things and also pushing them away out of my head because I don't want to deal with the things. But we don't actually have to think of all the things. Some of them are not needed, if I died tomorrow, Matt is going to be a fine parent to our children, right? Like, but there's a lot of things that would not be important anymore. And in my view,
I just thought about yes. Oh my gosh, yes.
but the same for Matt. Like, I was a single mom for many years. Like, I did do it myself, but there were a lot of things that I did not have the ability to do, or like, so it's interesting that we can survive without the other parent and without the other, like, maybe emotional aspect of, I don't know, it's like a team of an emotional human made by two humans handling all the aspects of the emotion of parenting. And I'm not sure why I say emotion, but there's some word that would talk about it. But like the things that we worry about tend to be very different.
Oh yeah.
And we could all survive without the other person, but would we want to? I think life would be a lot harder, a lot less clean, depending on the household, a lot less organized. We'd have to like constantly think of things that maybe are not, like, how many times do you think about getting the toilet paper a day?
I personally do not think of it at all.
Right. So, like, somebody's thinking about that,
Yeah.
you know?
Yeah.
So, like, that's the kind of stuff that would become very annoying in life, but it doesn't
I
mean
can't even imagine having to wake up every morning and be like,
toilet paper.
is there food in the refrigerator and toilet paper in the bathrooms?
I
Like,
know.
that'd be such a huge extra stressor.
Yeah, I should definitely give Matt credit though, because he does those basic things. I've kind of been on a strike in a way of, I don't love cooking for people. So I'll cook occasionally, but I tend to wait till the last minute, and Matt will just be more consistent about starting dinner earlier. For instance, I wait till the last minute on laundry. Matt is more consistent about getting the laundry done earlier than I would be willing to do it. And so by default, sometimes he's ending up doing a lot of these things because he
I
can't
actually
wait.
I feel that all my US employees came in and were here at our house
Yes.
last week. And Rachel, one of the it's actually called hackathon, but it's really
Yeah.
everyone calls it foodathon. And Rachel cooks for everybody and
Love
it's
that.
awesome. But to be helpful, I'll go into the kitchen and just really put up with it. Like I really am just like, I'm here because Rachel's here. I'm here because I care about these people. Don't forget you care about these people. Keep working. I actually am not convinced Rachel loves cooking. I'm just convinced that she's good at it and she's sort of taken it on as her
It shows
responsibility.
love, though. It shows care and love. Yeah.
And I think that part she really does like.
Yeah.
And so anyway, as I was working in the kitchen, I kept thinking like, oh my gosh, if I ever had to do this like any stretch, I'm totally toughing it out right now. I
Yeah.
am making it happen. Literally, Rachel does it every day. She brought me in a sandwich yesterday. When I ate the sandwich, I felt bad because I'm like, this tomato had to get cut. You know, the lunch meat was already cut and all this, but like she got out cutting boards, she washed knives, and it had lettuce that she'd washed. And I'm just thinking to myself, like, this
Wow.
sandwich represents, like, as she's giving it to me, I'm like, this thing is like so welcome. Like, I'm thankful that she brought it into me, but I feel so bad because if it was for me, I would have just grabbed something out of the pantry and
Mhm.
just bitten into it. But like for her, it's
Yeah.
like, this is an opportunity for me to show some love. And she does it.
Yeah. I love that. I love it when people cook for me. I am more appreciative than probably any human because of how hard it is for me to get an imagination about what to cook for people. I only cook very specific things. And I am a good cook, by the way. I just choose not to always cook because it's a lot of work. So you're lucky to have
I
Rachel
I
who,
think this is my opportunity to share something with our whole entire audience. And I've really only told a couple people about this, but I have invented several new technologies. And one of my new technologies is one day I don't mind experimenting sometimes in the kitchen. Now, everything I'm about to say will tell you how much I like to keep things nice and simple. But one of the technologies I invented is that if you put yogurt in a bowl with frozen blueberries on top of that, and then some granola on top of that, it's delicious. I invented that technology
well,
myself. And the key ingredient, which I don't know if anyone caught it, is frozen blueberries. It freezes a little bit of yogurt around the edge of it, adds a little bit of sweetness. It's very delicious. I don't want to talk about all the technologies I've invented. Not all of them
did you
are
grow
available.
those? Did you like make the yogurt and grow the blueberries?
Rachel makes all of our yogurt.
Oh my god, that's amazing. That's old school right there.
Yeah, it's just amazing. I think Rachel used some money that I might have earned to buy the blueberries at whatever store she shops at. But the technology isn't necessarily about you growing it. The technology is about the bringing together of very key ingredients and make something new. Now, a lot of the technologies I've invented are not edible, but there is a technology that I invented that didn't work out. And I hope that everyone can just kind of stick with me here and just hear me out. I love watermelon. Watermelon is absolutely delicious, especially when it's extra sweet and very deep red, and when it's been in the refrigerator just long enough that it's still really crisp. You don't want to turn either slimy or
No
or
mushy.
mushy,
Yeah.
but you want that heart watermelon. The further away from the rind you get, the better it's probably going to be. Um, I don't mind spitting seeds, but I also kind of like not having to. So
Yeah.
watermelon's great. Now, someone told me recently that root beer, if you drink it, it has brown dye in it or something that causes kidney stones. And supposedly it's like only if you do it a lot. But I just kind of swore off a few years ago anything carbonated just because I don't like the way it makes my nose feel, especially anything that has that brown dye in it. If there's anything in this world that could give me a kidney stone, it's automatically on the do not touch list because I've met people who had kidney stones and I have very, very strong fears around trying to pass a rough pebble
Yes.
through myself. So root beer was already out for carbonation, but then I put it out like more. But before the carbonation thing, I thought that if I made a smoothie with watermelon and root beer and take two things I love so much, lots of sugar, lots of sweetness, I would invent a new technology. So I had a blender, put the two in. I think I might have even added yogurt to it just because you're supposed to put that in a smoothie. It didn't turn out great. It actually, believe it or not, that's a technology that did not make it through quality testing. And I say all of this to say that I don't mind doing an adventure or experiment in the kitchen by any means, but certainly the amount of failure, like, because I'm not going to follow a recipe. Like, if you give me a recipe, I'm going to be like, oh, gone. That means I got to
Same.
flour out. And then,
Yeah.
like,
It's a lot of
oh,
work.
the moment flour comes out, it's like, I'm not really interested anymore. But even in my own experiments where I've had successes and failures, I'll tell you right now that it is paramount that you have somebody in the house that is not trying to invent new technology all the time. Somebody who is trying to make proven, steady,
Mhm.
reliable work happen in the family. And it goes back to what I was saying about the breaks. It's just we need to have both.
Yeah.
And I'm so thankful that, I have this yin and yang relationship.
Oh, yeah. And also, you might be the only person I know a software guy, who's calling this technology.
I'll tell you about
But I
my
love it.
my soap technology that I invented all by myself sometime. It's actually pretty groundbreaking, but I haven't patented it yet.
I get that. There's a lot of technologies I too have invented that I have not patented nor quite created. Mostly I've just thought of them.
Oh, well, that's the entrepreneurial way right there.
Yeah. Yeah. The important ones, they get made eventually, but they have to like make their way through the funnel. So, from what I'm hearing, Rachel, has a very hard job catering to you. And
Yeah.
so, really, Father's Day should be all about Rachel and how good she is towards you, the father.
Actually, I would have no issue with that at all. I just think it's interesting that a day that's designed to honor people and, just to take at least a couple minutes in this podcast, I honor my parents so much. I'm so thankful for the sacrifices on both that were very different, I think. I mean, yet they cared enough about me and they took their position as my parents seriously enough to like really lose sleep and put in the work. And I mean, literally, like when I say lose sleep, they literally got a paper out 2 o'clock in the morning. They went and did it. We went and did it with them. As a junior high and high school student, I was on the paper route with them all the time. But it's so much more than anything like that. But that's just like one like example. My parents really took it seriously to make sure that I never wanted. And frankly, I bet you I should have wanted more. I think that it would have been good for me to have to figure out stuff that they couldn't provide. But I just feel like they always were doing everything they could to provide for me spiritually and materially and emotionally. And I think that while my parents aren't perfect, that's kind of the most perfect thing about them, in my opinion, is that they didn't wait for perfection to like give it a go. And they didn't wait for perfection in order to call it good enough because there's too many aspects of parenting. And so my message would be, I know it's a Father's Day episode, but just as we've discussed, I would say for the mothers out there that are listening and having that dichotomy of like Mother's Day, like I just want to say as a guy who wouldn't be anything without his mother or his father, but I'm thankful that my mom wasn't perfect. How annoying would that be to have to like live up to that? And then also one of the simple joys I have is looking back at life with my parents. I don't remember all the things that went really smoothly. I
Yeah.
remember the times we went camping and got caught out in the mud. I
Yeah.
remember the times that my mom had to like, she'd forgotten me at the school. She had a bunch of other stuff she was doing, and she didn't pick me up until 9 o'clock at night when they were trying to figure out where Curt is for bedtime.
We all have one of those stories.
But you know what? Like, I found a way to stay busy at the school. We didn't have cell phones
Yeah.
back in those days. So I'm just alone at the school, walking around, doing my thing.
That would be
And
fun.
and I remember it. And I don't remember it like maybe my mom thinks I remember it in a bad way, but I just
Yeah.
remember like that was a chance to be resourceful and it was a new and different experience. And I remember the paper route. I remember feeling nauseous with that ink smell and the thing while you're going around corners at 50 miles an hour, going through neighborhoods as fast as you can to throw papers and fold them and put them in bags so that the rain doesn't get them. And my parents they were scrappy. And guess what? I'm scrappy now.
Definitely have a lot of memories with my parents as well. I see a lot of patterns in their life. I understand them so much better because of being a parent myself now. Even now, when I look at my parents, I look at them in relation to me. It's not always as like individual human beings in this world. They're still my parents, right? It's harder to look at Dan and Sue and see who they are as people. Like that's a hard thing to do. I think for most kids, that's hard to do, see your parents as human beings. And yet I have gifted them with me being able to see them as just human beings and not the superheroes that we start. I mean, I think that's a gift to be able to understand parents are just human beings like the rest of
Yeah.
us. And I only know that because I'm a parent now. But I tell my kids all the time, I don't know what I'm doing. I'm just a human being.
But I don't think I would have believed that as a kid. I don't think I could have believed it as a kid, to be honest.
And I don't think most parents would have talked like that when we were younger. We have
Well, the thing is that I actually thought my parents were getting some sort of source of truth outside of what I had available to me. They had their own knowledge
me
bank
too.
and
Yeah.
wisdom pile from their life, but like I assumed that they had all the answers. It wasn't really until I was actually much older. Like I had plenty of kids of my own at this point. When my
Yes.
parents started declining in age, or like I just assumed my dad could be hit by a bullet. And in fact, you want to talk about memory? I remember being at a father and son camp out with our church. It was just me, the dads and the sons, and we had a water balloon launcher. And I thought I'd be so funny. I had two people holding the edge of these hoses. I don't know if you guys know what a water balloon launcher is, but the big rubber hose, and it's got a big pouch in it. Yeah. So normally what you do is you have two people hold their arms up and out, and then you go down and you launch it straight up in the air. Well, I thought I'd be so funny. My dad was standing, he's 20 yards away, and I thought I'm just gonna shoot it right over his head, and just right over his head. And so I pull it back, I went way back, and I remember watching that water balloon just hovering side to side, and it's going straight towards what looks like his
Oh, no.
face. It hit him directly in his throat. Hit him
No.
straight in his throat. And my dad just grabbed his throat, went to the ground. I felt horrible.
Yeah.
But amid all that, I say that, he survived. And oh my gosh, if he hadn't, right? But
Yes.
I just remember thinking, of course he survived. He's old man sausage fingers. This man could crush, stuff
Yeah.
in his hands all day. Like, of course he didn't get hurt. He's superhuman. My mom, like I just think about she can survive anything. She's so scrappy. And now I look at my mom hobbling around. Her foot won't
Yeah.
work quite right. And my dad, he's trying his best to take care of her, but he's,
Yeah.
they're just getting old. And I'm like, holy cow, they were just people this whole time.
Yeah, that's how it happened for me. It's weird. And I think all kids have to go through it unless we're different. Maybe we should ask, did anybody else go through this experience or did you always know your parents were humans?
Yeah, I'd be curious to know that because
Yeah.
it does feel like a universal truth to me that people just assume their parents had it figured out and that they're stronger than everybody else. And
That's how they get away with raising us. Like, if we didn't believe
yeah.
that, then we'd just go to any old human. So, are you doing anything? Do anything for your father? Do you call him? Do you give him a card? Anything for father?
Well, this is true for Mother's Day too. We have a real baked in beautiful thing. We have Sunday night dinner at my parents' house every
Yes.
Sunday night. So there's just no chance that I won't see him and say Happy Father's Day. I won't have a card, just like I didn't for my mother. I will not have any flowers for him, just like I didn't for my mother. I'll probably give her a little extra long hug, and I will probably say, "Did you have a good Mother's Day?" Like, that's probably it. So I need to do better than that probably, but that's just
I don't know. I mean, that might be fine. I think that it's also the expectations in your family. Like, I was just thinking, I don't think I could get away with that without feeling really bad, or like without me feeling like my parents were feeling like I hadn't done enough. So, my whole expectations of the holidays are probably based on what the expectations in my childhood were for these days. Just like you said, mother got breakfast in bed.
my
I,
sister does a really classy move every birthday. On my sister's birthday, my sister brings flowers
mm-hmm,
to our mother,
because it's
and
her birthday.
it's so classy. She's like, "You gave birth to me. Thank you for, being like." My sister is the classiest.
Yeah,
And even though I'm fully aware that that is the move, that is such a move. It
it
is
is.
so good. She's been doing that since like maybe 21 or something when she was just first married. Like she
Yeah.
just started doing it. And at first it was like, wow. And then now it's just like expected and she's going to do it. And I know that if I wanted to be as classy as her, and I do, all I would have to do is on my birthday, take flowers to my mom.
Yeah.
It's such a sweet thing. Guess what?
Never.
I just can't get myself to like remember and do it. And
I mean, it's an extra step for
it's
sure.
an extra step. And the other thing, OCD, I've already missed a bunch. And if I do start now, I really have to keep going all the way for the rest of my life.
Yeah. A secret thing that I do, and some of my friends also do, is when I see it's one of my friends' kids' birthdays, I'll text them happy birthday, like two separate words. And just because it truly is, like, I think of my kid's birthday, but I'm also remembering all the work I had to do in those 9 months. That's not nothing just because we make jokes about it. Having somebody not only live in your body, but like take over your body and not ruin it forever, but like they change it forever,
It's true.
right?
It's true. I overheard two ladies at church once,
Yeah.
and this lady, she's had like 13 kids.
Oh my goodness, no,
Yeah.
I can't.
I overheard these two ladies, they have this like workout thing in the park in their neighborhood. And every like Monday, Wednesday, Friday, they are working out in the park together doing this mom
It's
thing.
nice.
And the lady who has just got pregnant with like, I think it's like her 13th, they take up a whole entire big pew at church. She goes, she just got her body back. And it's so funny to hear the way she said it. She was just mourning for this lady. And
Yeah,
I thought about Rachel, like it truly is
changes
so much
everything.
work on the body. And
Chemistry too. It changes your brain chemistry, it changes your foot size. There's crazy things that happen.
you just can't get it back.
No.
Like people think, well, there's another lady who's famous for being famous and she has kids, but she's known for like having like a body that's like never had kids. And I suppose that if you have all the right doctors and your whole life is centered around, oh, she even makes a special kind of outfit, like one of her clothing line that you wear under your clothes to make your body look different than it actually is.
Banks lady?
Yes,
That
yes,
it
yes.
can't be Sarah. She's not famous for looking like she
No,
never had kids, but
I thought it was Spanx.
I
It's
understand.
Kim Kardashian.
Oh, yeah, yeah, of course, the most famous lady who's famous for being famous, yes, and
Yes,
also a brilliant business lady, but
yes.
that's besides the
But
point.
like a big part of her is
Yes,
having a body that looks like it's never had kids, right? Isn't
right,
that?
and she
Yes.
actually has had all those children, so I think one of them might have been through in vitro, which means somebody else carried the baby.
Isn't that called surrogate? In vitro is where they put the
You're
egg
right,
inside
I'm
the.
sorry, I'm doing it wrong because I only have all my kids on accident
Yeah.
the regular way.
So anyway, my point is that if you have a chef and you have the
Oh,
gym
yeah,
person, the coach, and all this other stuff, you can almost fake it,
yeah,
but legitimately childbearing, from what I can tell, it genuinely changes your body. It changes how you process the food that you eat. It changes the
yes,
way that you carry the fat that
everything.
your body must store. Like, it just changes everything. And it's just so interesting because that's just one more of what I said earlier, is that women basically sacrifice whatever they got going on for the kid,
That one is true.
including
Yeah.
their body.
Yeah. And their health too, because like some women still die in childbirth. Like there are so many risks when it comes to
Yeah.
having children. And yet we just treat it like, here's your card, mom. Good job
Yeah.
on growing
Yeah.
that child for 9 months and then sacrificing everything.
I remember being so nervous when Michaela was gonna be born on the day she went into labor. I remember thinking, like, death during childbirth is a thing. Like, I knew we don't experience it today the way that it was much more prevalent back
Yeah.
in the day. But I remember, like, being like, "Man, I wish we just keep that kid inside. I like it better knowing what I know now," you
Yeah.
know?
I also felt that way once I went into labor. I was like, can this kid just stay inside? I don't want to deal with what's going to happen. So, yeah, it's weird. It is funny that we've spent so much of our Father's Day episode talking about mothers.
Yeah, I was pretty adamant I wanted to have this conversation because we missed
Yes.
Mother's Day, and
Which I
to
was
my
fine
knowledge.
with.
Yeah. That's cool. I know that mothers feel a certain way about Mother's Day, but I really did think it'd be fun to tribute our parents. But at the end of the day, I think that we are just living tributes of we're exactly calibrated to the life that we've lived, you know? And our parents were a big part of that. Some things our parents have taught us we have not maybe necessarily kept up with, and it hasn't become part of who we are at our core, which I think I would expect the same for my own children. But other things, like we don't even realize we carry with us, like we just do that because that's the way it's always
Yeah.
been done my whole life. And then other things, our parents have taken struggles out of our way and probably paid a penalty for that. Other things that our parents didn't take out of our way that were obstacles, we've actually benefited in a lot of ways from those things. And that's why I say we're perfectly calibrated to exactly the upbringing that we had because we've had to figure things out. I think back to when I hired one of my employees. It was so funny. He'd just gotten married. He was a young married newlywed, and he started working at our company. And he had to get a water bill, and he had to send in a voided check. So he sent in a voided check, and I started noticing a water bill coming out of my bank account. And I'm like, I wonder how that's possible that I am paying another water bill, but
Yeah.
out of my business account. So I had to call into the water company and figure out where the heck this is coming from. And it's coming from my employee. And this guy is the nicest guy. Why would he try to steal from the company? So I hit him up and I'm like, what's going on? He's like, yeah, I took a picture of the check. I deposited my paycheck and then I voided it. And then they asked for a voided check. So I sent it in to them for direct pay. And I look back and I go, there's a kid who was,
Yeah.
and I laughed and laughed
That's
about it. This is
genius,
hilarious.
by the way.
Well, he didn't know. He didn't understand. He's like, it's a voided check. Like, he didn't
Yes.
understand how the routing number and the checking account number works and all that. He never been taught all those things. And so that obstacle of, learning that specific thing had never really surfaced in his life. And then
Yeah.
what? He learned it. And guess what? He buys houses and makes them into Airbnbs and he rents them out. And he's like a tycoon now who just happens to work at a software company.
Yeah.
And it's not like not knowing that was like this huge penalty for him. It ended up being like another lesson and he learned it.
Life is just good stories. The more good
Yeah.
stories you have, the better a life you've led, is what I truly believe.
Well, Melody, happy Father's Day.
Happy Father's Day to you, Curt. I feel like, not that you need it. Sounds like it's just another day on the,
Yeah.
yeah, where Rachel's going to cook you a really good meal and you're going to see your whole family and your kids will be like, you're the best. You'll be like, I know. But
Well,
thanks for letting me know.
they do say nice things to my face.
That's
I'll say it,
nice.
and I do appreciate that.
Mine do
At the end of the
too.
day,
I
I
think,
wish that my Father's Day, as good as it's gonna be, I wish every mother could have as good a Mother's Day as Father's Day is for me.
I think I know that next year I'm going to have a fantastic Mother's Day because I will be going away from everybody.
Do
It's
you
gonna
already
be
know where you're
my
going?
I'll probably just go to the Cape or something. I was supposed to be going to Cape Cod on Mother's Day, and that's probably why I didn't love my Mother's Day also this year, is like I hadn't intended to be here, and then I realized, oh, it's Mother's Day. I probably should stay. Felt like some sense of obligation, and then it did not live up. I mean, I would rather have been at the beach. So that's where I'll be next year.
Well, I don't know Max well. I've seen Max a couple times through the webcam, and I do know he's a teenager. And, I have no idea if this even ties in your Mother's Day, but I'll tell you this. Max is thankful. He's thankful
He
you drive
is.
him around, you take good care of him. He would not have near the life he's got without you. And whether Mother's Day is a way he showed it to you or not, I'll just say this. I have waited to start this podcast several times because of emergencies and audibles that you've had to call for your kids. And I know whatever their car did or did not say, you're a fantastic mom and they love you for
Thank
it.
you. They did actually I did get nice cards in their own timeline, yes, but
Okay.
they did write me words, and that was meaningful to me, so I always appreciate that. And they don't just tell me on Mother's Day, like, I have 2 kids. They have 2 different versions of a mom, I will also say that, but they are good kids, and they really do love me. We love each other a lot.
Good. Well, I'm glad you know that. That's great.
Yeah, of course, on a daily basis, yeah.
Well, everybody, thanks for joining us today. Thanks so much. And we hope you guys have a fantastic Father's Day and hopefully you all had a great Mother's Day.
Amen.
Amen. See ya. Bye.